Hi, this is Kelly Dennis, and I'm in Maryland area on a house raising project for Due West. In front of me we have Kenny Dutton, who's going to explain a little bit about what's going on with this project. Kenny, what do we have in front of us?
Well, we've got a home here that's flooded multiple times. Last flood, it got about 2 feet of water in it. And to be the current elevation codes, to keep this from flooding, we got to raise it about 4 feet. And that'll get this house up and clear of the floodwaters that typically have been coming through here. And one of the unique things on this home is the stone columns that are on it that we had to make some steel brackets to tie things together. Made this raising a little more complicated than most. And this home has 2 additions on it and an extra glass cover on the back side that has columns on it. So it's kind of a fun raising that we're going to be doing today.
Okay, so down here below the columns we see some brackets. So tell us a little bit about the brackets.
Well, we've got some toe jacks here that are actually sitting under the steel brackets that are tying the base of all of our columns together. And this is to keep the columns in the same position as we come upward, so they won't want to swing left or right on us. And when this structure comes up roughly 4 feet, it will be doing this in literally a day, compared to, you know, the old way we used to do it with hand jacks. It used to take us a couple of weeks to raise a structure like this. So it's kind of fun watching these come up. The homeowners like to come out and the neighbors like to come out and watch it.
So this is coming up with, what kind of a system are you using to bring the house up with?
We're using a unijack, a unilift system on it, and if you can pan down and show these hydraulic hoses, this is just a few of them, but each of these run to a ram that's underneath the home. We've got 78 rams underneath this house to pick it up. So we got 78 hoses running back to our unilift system that pumps the fluid to raise it.
So let's walk over here and see if we can see one of those rams. Well, we're down here next to the house, and yes, we can see just under the house there.
That's one of the bases to one of the rams. The ram's sitting in the middle of that on top of some cribbing. This is a cribbing jack here for us.
So let's walk on out to the street and look at the unilift system that's actually doing the work on raising the house.
Yeah, this is really the messy part of the job as we're walking out here. You know, it's the messiest part of the job. We've done all the prep work to get ready to come up with it, but it's also the funnest part of the job because it's the day this thing literally gets picked up. So kind of everything rolled into one. And this is the unilift system that we're using. And you can see 37 gauges on the end of it here. We've got each of these running 2 jacks, so we can monitor the pressures from here, and that way we can come up, like the porte-cochere area we were looking at over there with columns on it is pretty light compared to the main structure of the house. With these valves here, we can monitor the pressures and adjust it to where the heavy part comes up at the same rate as the light parts of the home. And that's what makes these unilift systems unique. Rather than coming up by hand and working back and forth, this whole structure will literally lift in 8-inch lifts. We bring the jacks up for 8 inches, we shim everything off, reset our jacks, and then come up another 8-inch lift and do a series of those to get us up to 4 feet. And it goes relatively quickly. And it's all due to this unit right here. And the guy that operates all these is kind of an expert in his field. He does a lot of these, and it takes some finesse to learn how to do it. But with each of these that we're looking at on the gauges here, they're tied to hydraulic rams on the end here that's actually pumping the fluid out to each of these jacks, and it's just kind of a real neat process when we do it.
So what kind of time have we spent so far in preparation for this house raising?
Well, we've been working on the house for about 4 to 5 weeks on it right now to get it ready to this point. And this is a larger home here, so you know, most of them we don't need quite a big unilift system as this one, but this is a big house, big sprawling slab on it, plus all the extra additions that are on it. So it's taken a little longer. You know, normally on a house that's say 2,000, 3,000 square foot on the ground, we can usually do something like that, get it up 4 feet in about the 4-week period. We're running into the 5th week to raise on this one.
Wow. So how many feet of tunneling underneath the house? You said you had the set jacks and pilings underneath the house. Approximately how many feet of tunneling are under this house?
There's several hundred feet of tunnel underneath it, and we've got several entrances, so you know, we're going in and out of underneath the structure the whole time we're raising on it. You'll see guys moving around back and forth and keeping the cribbing tight and stuff, but we got a few hundred feet of tunneling opened underneath this thing. But the benefit of doing it with all that tunneling, it makes all this dirt out here, but the inside of this home has already been restored since the flood. We're not setting foot inside this house with any tools whatsoever other than levels. So the inside will stay pristine as we come up with it. all the tunneling that we did underneath it was so that we could keep everything monolithic and clean on the inside.
Well, Kenny, well, looks like we've got all the jacks set, and Vernon over there is setting up the rest of the gauges for getting ready, preparing for the lift.
Yep.
And what we'll do is we'll sign off for now on this particular spot, and then we'll reshoot some additional footage here shortly about after the house comes up.
Thank you much.